My name is Gibby and welcome to Lore Cattle Ranch. On November 14th, 2023, Chris Chan uploaded a video reviewing comments from his Etsy page. Let's take a look.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, this is gonna be a good one. So Chris naturally decides to not read the negative reviews out loud, so I'm gonna have to jump in and read them when they come up.
Okay, the night I bought this, my husband and I had a huge fight. This item contains very potent...
This item contains a very potent negative energy. Please be sure to cleanse your home spiritually before and after bringing this medallion into your space. Any dark intent will cling to this.
Yeah, no, there was no dark intention there. You're misinterpreting that. You're confusing what came from this as opposed to the fight you just had recently.
I do a lot of running, and my medallion snapped off pretty quickly while I was running with it on. Not only that, but it failed to give me a Sonichu form, which was a little disappointing.
Don't expect everything, it's not exactly going to give you a Sonichu form every time. It varies from individual to individual, and plus, you gotta feel the energies within you on that. So do not be disappointed, but yeah, I definitely will recommend it. A metal chain if you're gonna go running with it. I can feel the power! Got a few eyelashes if anyone has a hair and wants to trade. I hope those were your eyelashes.
Item saved me from an armed robbery, no cap.
Well, I'm glad it saved you from. I'm glad it inspired you not to be in armed robbery or protected you from that.
This next part is inexplicable even for Chris standards. Let's read the post and then watch Chris's response. This item literally saved my life. The tokens were already framed in a cute 4x4 black frame. The soda label I purchased was not. However, when putting the items for safekeeping, as I intended to frame the label, I bent over and injured my back so badly I had to call into work. The evening, the building next to my work was held at gunpoint. Thanks, Chris. My back may be on fire, but at least I didn't get shot. Okay, so pretty straightforward trolling post about Chris's magic saving them from the fate or whatever. They hurt their back, so they didn't go into work, so they weren't present for the gun in the next building. But their back does feel like it's on fire. Let's see Chris's response.
Yeah, okay, well yes, there you go. You have been blessed. That was like, hey, you got out of that worse situation. I'm sorry you got shot though. I pray for your safe recovery. You shall recover safe and well. I am very glad you were saved from the fire, but I am sorry to hear that you got shot. The blessing is that you survived and you get to continue on doing what the light power and divine guidance informs you to do.
I genuinely don't know how he got that they were shot, but escaped a fire. It's the exact opposite. Okay, so someone photoshopped the medallion on a strong chin Chad man who is either AI or photoshopped, and Chris doesn't like it. He doesn't recognize it's fake, he just doesn't like the man's face.
It would have been nice if, you didn't have to show your face. It's like, you could just photograph on your chest, but that's a whole different thing. This is alright. It's acceptable. I am grateful for your kind words. Thank you very much. Finally became one with the through a novice Christopher, Christian, Christine, Ricardo Jesus Christ, Weston Chandler, Sachi Prime, CPU Blueheart.
Also known as Ian Brandon Anderson.
There's no Ian Brandon Anderson here. We've already been through that already. I truly feel like I can survive the Dimensional Merge now. 10 out of 10. Thank you. Alright, that's it for now. I pray you all a lovely, safe, and blessed day.
It's very obvious from the editing that this was edited by Caden or someone who's in on the joke. Chris wouldn't have comedically edited the video to get his reaction to negative reviews. Chris did this again in early 2024. Back then, there were only 54 pages of comments, and then in 2024, there are 85. So this video probably drove people to leave comments to get featured in a future one of Chris's videos. The Sonichu medallions are made by the Praetors, and most of them are not made by Chris. The novelty factor is non-existent, so I don't know why anybody buys them. Genos are much better and ethically sourced. I'm more torn on the Sonichu comic books. There is no other way of legally getting them physically because Chris did actually make them himself. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on the ethics of buying this stuff and supporting Chris in the comments. Usually in his live streams, I count up how much money he's made, so I'm going to try to estimate how much money he's made off of Etsy. Etsy says that there are 240 reviews of the Sonichu medallion. That costs $35, so we know at least 240 people have bought them to leave those reviews. That would be about $8,400. Keep in mind, there's always tax on all this money. Etsy probably takes a cut, and some of these were done during sales. The $35 Sonichu Totem has 6 reviews. The $30 Sonichu Comic number 1 has 32 reviews, the rest have 0. There's a Sonichu Comic Bundle that cost $80 with 14 reviews. There are 75 reviews for Rocks, which are $15. At least one person bought a custom Sonichu amiibo at $70. Handmade Chris Chan medallions with a certificate go for $110, and there's 13 reviews. 76 people left reviews for a Chris Chan little blessing label thing for $35, although those were discounted at some point. Handmade Chris Chan medallions without a certificate go for $85, and they have 255 reviews. No, I'm not kidding. Now, it seems like a lot of these purchases were before Chris got out of jail, so I'm thinking that the Praetors changed this listing to be handmade by Quick. Like previously in jail, these were just the Praetor medallions, but then they updated the listing, made it more expensive, said it was a Quick medallion, and then made a new listing for the Praetor-made medallions. That's the only thing that makes sense here. So no, I do not believe that Chris actually sold 255 medallions for $85, which would of course be $21,000. I think it was less than that. Looking at the reviews, it looks like at least 20 of them were the Chris Chan version. The other 235 reviews were probably of the original $35 non-Chris medallion made by the Praetors. So the total for this estimation, the absolute low ball possible, if every single person who bought them left a review and paid the price that is currently shown, keeping in mind that some of the listings have changed their titles, leaving out the fact that there's art pieces on there that are over $200 and we know a lot of those have sold, leaving off that we know a lot of things like the Wakanda edition medallions are no longer up there. The Praetors, through Chris's Etsy store, have made a minimum of $25,900. Now, we know that there's 841 reviews on the website, and they have made 4,352 sales. That's about a fifth of all the sales. If we assume that the other 3,511 sales are from the cheapest item on the website, that being the Rocks, that brings the total up to $78,565. Before taxes, Etsy fees, whatever the Praetors pay themselves. I'm actually pretty sure that the Praetors get the money and then pay Chris a wage, but that part doesn't really matter. It's a lot of money. Again, Chris did another reacting to Etsy reviews later, which I will be covering in the future, so if my math here is wrong, if you're an expert on Etsy and you know that I missed some really important, big, right-in-your-face thing, we'll talk about it next time. So I'm going to leave you off on that depressing note, and I will see you in the next video. Please be sure to be nice to each other in the comments, consider supporting the creators you admire, not Chris Chan, and never lose sight of the things that are most important to you. Because I can't make $70,000 by selling rocks on Etsy, I do have a Patreon. I always ask that anybody who donates does not donate money they don't have. And that's true of me and every other YouTuber or whoever you follow. There's a link in the description. It would really help out, but I would never want anyone who has, like, student debts to send me money while I'm just sitting here talking about Chris Chan.